I have officially finished my junior year of high school. That means after this summer, I'm going to become a senior, and after that, college and go to film school. Yeah, I want to be a scriptwriter and film director. Okay, let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome to the 9th episode of Legofan65's Childhood End. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, things have been busy lately. So, this episode was requested by J. James Guy. Shout out to him. What did he request? Well, he requested that I talked about Cars. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this was my favorite Disney franchise as a kid. And now let's talk about where did I first see this release and how did I get it. But before I talk about that, I want to tell you how I got introduced to the Cars franchise. Okay, so how did I get introduced to the Cars franchise? Well, back in the mid-2000s, whenever I visited my common babysitter, she had a few Disney Cars toys for me and my friends to play with. And my introduction to the franchise on TV happened at the very same place. I think I was 3 years old when I first saw it on TV, and on the TV was a Mater's Tall Tales short, El Matador. I think that's what it was, maybe. But anyway, at that time, I was more into Thomas the Tank Engine, so I didn't care for it all that much, but I had a few more years to wait. In Christmas 2010, I'm at my grandparents' house. It's time for me to open one of my presents. My grandfather hands one over to me while I'm sitting on the couch, and that is directly in front of the TV. And once I open it, it ends up being Cars on DVD, which is the same exact DVD you just saw a few seconds ago. At 6 years old, I didn't know what to expect. I had never seen the movie before. I had my doubts on it, but after me and my family watched it, I fell in love with it. And I started to pick up the merchandise from my local stores near me, such as the toys, video games, and posters. I saw the next two movies in theaters when they first came out, and me and some of my friends would talk about their favorite characters at lunchtime in school. Once again, shout out to J. James Guy for requesting this. Alright, now let's talk about what happens in the movie. So, we start our story by meeting a famous race car named Lightning McQueen, who's preparing himself to race for the final race of the Piston Cup season. He is tied with the same points with the king, Strip Weathers, and cheater Chick Hicks. Lightning is a jerk. He is rude and selfish, and never listens to his crew chief or pit crew. So how was he rude during this race? Well, he doesn't want to replace his tires. He doesn't do this, so he loses two of his back tires, and when the king and chick are about to beat him, it ends up being a three-way tie in the race. Because of this three-way tie, the king, McQueen, and chick are set to race in California to get an official winner for the Piston Cup season. So after giving a little speech in a tent, McQueen is set off to California in his trailer, and his big rig Mac is forced to travel all night long by him. That ought to be a little abusive, don't you think? While they're traveling to California, something terrible happens. Four doofus cars cause trouble with Mac while he's asleep and play catch with him. I guess slide and turn back, I don't know what to say, okay? So, they're being careless. They open the trailer that causes Lightning to fall out while he's asleep, and Mac leaves him in the middle of the road. So after Lightning wakes up, he realizes that he's in the middle of the road, and he turns around to go back and find Mac. So McQueen goes back on the right side of the road and chases after Mac, after seeing a trailer go up a bridge on the highway, whom he believes is Mac. But after he catches up to him after jumping a train, he realizes that it's not him. Also, the trailer that he was chasing is a total jerk. I mean, just listen to him. So, Lightning decides to go back to the interstate to find Mac. However, he gets lost and drives past the sheriff at a very high speed, and the sheriff chases after him. Lightning then ends up in the town of Radiator Springs. He's scared to death. He destroys the road while driving the statue of Stanley, the founder of the town, and is arrested after getting stuck on a barbed wire telephone pole. The next morning, when Mac arrives at California, they soon realize that McQueen wasn't with them when he arrived, and the news of him being missing is spread all around the world. Lightning wakes up in an impound lot. He meets this goofy tow truck named Mater, and Mater is the funniest character throughout the entire movie. No, seriously, when I first watched this, his dialogue was great, and it gave me a laugh whenever he appeared on screen. So Mater tows Lightning to the courthouse where all the other citizens of Radiator Springs are angry with him for vandalizing the town. This is where he meets Doc Hudson, the judge and doctor of the town, who just wants to get McQueen out of the town, just to make everyone happy. But then, Sally, the town lawyer, and Mater's jokingly fiancée, motivates Doc to have him fix the road as a punishment. She succeeds, and Lightning is very angry. Oh, and by the way, when Mater attempts to hook him up to Betsy, which is what he's going to use to fix the road, is the most unexpected thing in the movie. However, Lightning runs out of gas, Sheriff and Sally catch up to him, and he's forced to go back to town to continue fixing the road. However, Lightning, rushing to get to California before Chick Hicks, rushes on his job to fix the road, and he makes the road look even worse. So Doc comes up with a deal with Lightning. He decides to have a one-lap race with him through Willie's Butte. If Lightning wins, he can go and fix the road. And if Doc wins, Lightning will do the road his way. Lightning accepts the challenge. However, during the race, Lightning crashes as he does not know how to race on dirt and crashes directly into the cactus, which is extremely painful. So the next morning, the town wakes up to find Lightning has done an improvement on fixing the road. And as the town celebrates this, Doc finds him at Willie's Butte struggling to make that one turn during the race the day before. So Doc decides to give him advice about racing on dirt. But Lightning doesn't want to listen since he is still a jerk at this point, and crashes into the cactus again, which is extremely more painful than the last time. So after Lightning continues to fix the road, Sheriff puts Mater in charge to watch after him in case he tries to escape. Meanwhile, Sally invites Lightning to stay the night at the Cozy Cone Motel, which is where she works. She offers him cone number 1 if he wants it. After that, Mater shows up and invites Lightning to do some tractor tipping overnight, which is basically like cow tipping except it's tractors, and here's a little example of it. After that, they're chased out of the field by a combine named Frank. So after returning from tractor tipping, Mater teases McQueen for being in love with Sally while driving backwards. And Mater's driving backwards freaks out Lightning, afraid that Mater will wreck. However, Mater proves Lightning wrong by showing that he's the world's best backwards driver and drives backwards throughout the town like a rampage. Afterwards, Mater asks McQueen why the race in California is so important to him. And McQueen says it's very important to him because of the Piston Cup. After that, Mater wishes that he was always hoping to ride in a helicopter, and says that he made a very good choice in his best friend. That really makes a huge effect on Lightning's heart. So after the backwards driving incident and after Mater saying goodnight to Lightning, Lightning goes to the Cozy Cone Motel to stay the night. He goes to cone number 1, which is the cone that Sally offered him. After he enters, he talks with Sally and is actually nice to her, and they say goodnight to each other. So Lightning goes to Flo's to tell everyone if they heard about Doc being a famous race car. However, they just laugh at him and say that he's gone insane. So after the citizens of the town stop laughing at McQueen, Sally invites Lightning to go out on a drive with her, and he accepts. They race through the beautiful countryside of Talfin Pass until they make it to the Wheelwell Motel. The Wheelwell Motel is exactly where Sally broke down after leaving California, as being rich did not make her feel happy, and she fell in love with the town of Radiator Springs. And so after that, we enter a flashback sequence where the original citizens, except Doc because he didn't live in Radiator Springs at the time, had a happy place for local visitors to come every once in a while, as a song plays in the background. Later, we learned that a highway was built there, and the cars were sad because visitors did not come to their town anymore. So after Lightning and Sally return to town, a tractor stampede goes through it because of Mater being very irresponsible while tractor tipping. So Lightning chases one into the desert and finds Doc at Willie's Butte. And Doc does an amazing drift. It's called Turn Right to Go Left. And oh my gosh. Everyone, get into your seat and get a bag of popcorn. So after Doc sees that Lightning has been watching him, he runs back to his garage with McQueen on his tail. After McQueen catches up to him in his garage, Doc talks to him about being selfish and how it's not a good thing, after showing him a picture of his wreck back in 1954. No, seriously, I looked it up. The Hudson Hornet actually is a real car. So the next morning, everyone in town has seen that Lightning has finished the road and believe that he is left since they cannot find him anywhere. So after Red the fire truck leaves crying, McQueen returns and asks, "Hey, could you help me get prepared for my race?" And they gladly do so. They improve his body, they give him new tires, and they just give him everything he needs for the big race. So after they are all done fixing McQueen's body, they light up the town by giving neon lights pretty much everywhere they go. And so after that, customers, who they believe are customers anyway, arrive to pick up Lightning McQueen. And so after they pick him up, Sally says goodbye to Lightning and wishes him good luck in California. As soon as they leave, they find out that Doc was the one who called them, "Hey, we have Lightning McQueen, come and get him here." So the next morning is the day of the race, and Lightning McQueen is very unprepared for it, as he misses his friends back at Radiator Springs. So, while they're getting prepped for the race, Chick is bragging to McQueen about how me and Tia, Lightning's twin fans, are now Chick's fans, and he's not paying attention as he still misses Sally. And when the race starts, he struggles to catch up with the King and Chick, until he realizes that Doc and some of the other citizens from Radiator Springs have decided to become his pit crew. So, after Lightning retrieves his focus again, he starts to catch up with the two leaders, and Guido has the most unexpected pit stop you would ever see in race history. It's so unexpected that it makes all the other pit crews lose their mustaches. So when it's the final lap, McQueen passes the King and Chick Hicks and takes the lead, and as soon as he's about to win the race, Chick cheats by knocking over the King and having him crash directly into the field and having him crash entirely, which is similar to Doc's crash. Lightning decides to let Chick take the win and goes back to help the King. He helps him cross the finish line, and he shows a lot of sportsmanship as he does this action. So Chick unfairly wins his Piston Cup, and he deserves this kind of treatment. I mean, just look what they all do to him. They point confetti directly at him, they hurt him really badly, and all the audience members boo at him for unfair sportsmanship. So McQueen is granted lots of positive reception for helping the King out, and decides to put Radiator Springs back on the map. Then he decides to make his own racing headquarters there, and he lives happily ever after with his friends. And that is the beautiful end of our story. So in conclusion, do I recommend that you watch Cars? If you're a huge fan of cars in general, if you liked watching races, and if you're a huge Disney Pixar fan as a whole, yes, I do recommend that you watch Cars. Once again, huge shout out to JJ Guy for requesting this. I'm sorry it took a while for me to make this thing, but hey, yeah, as you saw in the last video, I was finishing my junior year. I'm about to become a senior, and it's the summer now, so I should have more time to create more childhood episodes. And for Thomas Movie Reviews Part 2, I have no idea when I'm going to try to get that done. I'm going to try to get it released by somewhere in July. Also, I want to point out something here. This VHS, there was a VHS copy of this film, one that came out back in 2006. And I'm not going to spend $2,000. This thing was only $2,000 on eBay if you buy it on VHS. There's no way I'm going to buy that. So it gets a 9 out of 10, but it then loses another star because why didn't Chick Hicks get disqualified for what he did to the king? So this movie is getting an 8 out of 10. Alright, that officially wraps up the 9th episode of Legofan65's Childhood. Our next review is going to be on one of my top 5 favorite Thomas and Friends videos of all time. Thomas Breaks the Rules and Other Stories. Alright, so tune in next time for that, and goodbye!